All right, so far we have created our first image in a container. Then we saw how we can interact with containers, and now we also need to see how to stop and remove containers in a step by step, right? So one important thing about Docker is containers are not permanent. Like they keep running until we stop them, and even after stopping, they still exist on the system, and they're taking our space and the maybe memory, right? So first, to see all the containers, including the stop one, we use is Docker ps a. So you can see all of these containers are running. 1, 2, 3, right? It started one a minute ago. It's also started a minute ago, 2 minutes ago, and so on. These are the random names given to the containers by a Docker itself. So you might have different ones, right? So it shows. So when you write a, it shows all the running and the stopped containers, right? So you'll often see a lot of stop containers building up over time. These are called stale containers, and they take up space. Now, in order to stop a container, what you need to do is you can write Docker stop container ID or name of the container. So right, so Docker stop. So what I can do is I can just write the first three letters, so which is 1903. Right before that, you can also, if you don't have any container running already, you can just write Docker run ng, right? So it's running now. So we haven't used D, we haven't detached our terminal and the Docker. So we can't use our terminal anymore. In order to detach ourselves from the terminal or to be able to use it again, we have to stop it. So you can just Control C and maybe Command C on the MacBook. So now let's see. So before there were 3 running, and now you can see there are 4 running. And if you do it again, which is Docker run ng nginx, so there is one more again. So again, we haven't detached it. You need to press Control C. It will exit, and now we will be able to use our terminal. So first of all, we need to stop our containers, right? So what we can use is we can use a container name or the container ID. So let's use Control PSA to see the container ID. So I'll start from removing the first one, which is EF3. So what we can do is Docker stop EF3. So you see it returned the name of the first 3 letters of the container ID. And I'll just stop the next one as well, which is Docker stop 214, and it returned the ID, which means stopped successfully. Docker stop, the third one, which is 903, and it stopped. And you can do the same as well. You can keep running nginx to create like 2 to 4 containers and then stop it. So this is the command that we use to stop the container, you can say gracefully, right, in a very lenient way. So this gives containers some time to shut down properly. But sometimes you need to stop the container immediately, right? So in order to do that, the command that you can use is Docker stop T and then add 0. It means it shuts it. We would not have to wait for it to shut down. Sometimes if there's a lot of, if the container is heavy and there are lots of images, it might take some time to stop. Oh, it says, oh, we haven't given the ID, so I'll say 099, which is the last one. Oh, it's not working again as well. Oh, we need to give the complete container ID, in this case Docker ps a. So what we'll do, we copy this and Docker stop t 0n, and now it stopped immediately. So the correct command is Docker stop minus t 0 and the complete container ID if you want to stop it without any wait. Let's clear it up. right? So next thing, this is useful when containers stuck or unresponsive. Sometimes your system is not responding, so you can just do container stop -0 and give the complete container ID. Now, stopping is not enough, right? The container still exists on the system. So we also have to delete the container. In order to delete the container, what we'll do is, so first let's see all the names again. So what we'll do is docker rm for remove, and the container ID, let's do 099. So see, it removed the container. In order to verify, let's see it again. So you see, so the last command that we run was 099, and now we don't have any container with the ID 099. So this is one way to remove. This is, so first we do stop the container and then we remove it. Now the next thing is Docker RM or Docker remove does not work on running containers. If you try, so it will throw an error. So to force stop and remove in one step, what you need to do is Docker remove. F is for forcefully stop it, and again the name the ID of the container, which is, I'll pick the last one, which is 15C, and it gave me, now it should have removed this. So now you see, before I had like 4 containers, and now I have 3 containers. So this is how you do the Docker remove. F for force, and then the 3 letters. Right, let's clear it up. This is the shortcut used mostly in real workflows, but sometimes it happens that if you have many stop containers, removing like one by one is slow, right? So we can remove all stop containers using this pattern, which is docker ps aq, like this, x args docker remove. Oh, so this says is not recognized. Let's see what the problem is. All right, so make sure that you have stopped and removed all of your containers. I'll remove the remaining ones as well. So docker rm 903, docker rm 214, docker rm ef3. So now I should not have any containers at all when I run docker psa. You see, now I don't have any containers running, stopped or running. It's because A shows all of them. Right, so that is all for today.